Those of you who are members of the Patreon or the Pony Club who have seen those videos that I make for you will know that a couple of weeks ago, for pretty much 3 weeks on the trot, I was talking about just how bad people who are on like the left side of politics are really, really bad when it comes to discussing foreign policy. Too quickly, they look at a conflict, pick a side as if it's a football team, and then start cheering for that side. And then more information comes out, and then all of a sudden, they look like complete idiots because they were cheering for, well, in this case, the wrong side. We've seen this in Ukraine, where we have had people on the left supporting Russia, of all people, saying that, you know, Russia had somehow been forced into invading Ukraine and causing all this mass death, the destruction, the war crimes it has committed. Yeah, Russia was just forced into that. And of all people who really exemplify, especially this response to what has been going on in yet another unfortunate, continuing bloody saga of the Palestinian-Israel conflict, who wades in? But of course, Jeremy Corbyn. And a lot of people have quite rightly pointed out that Corbyn really did not have a response. People will disagree and said, oh, no, he did have a response. Here it is. But did he, though? Did he really have a response? Because I'll tell you now, Keir Starmer's response, far better than what Jeremy Corbyn's was, which gives you an idea of just how far Labour has actually come under Keir Starmer in just 3 years. So we're going to get into this first and show you just how easy it is to condemn Hamas for what it has done. So before we do go getting into that, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and the notification link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And of course, there is the Pony Club down below and the YouTube thank you button as well. And like I say, if you want to see those videos that I make for you, like I say, it is a Wednesday today, so I will be doing another one this afternoon. We'll be looking at Stop the War Coalition and going into one of their videos that they made. So that'll be fun. It'll be a long one, so you know, strap yourselves in, guys. But yes, thank you very much to everyone who does, like I say, help and support the channel. Like I say, please do remember to click on the like, share, and of course, remember to leave a comment down below as well. All helps with the algorithms and whatnot as well. So let's talk first of all about Hamas. Now, it is incredibly important to say, first things first, Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. And Hamas is not the Palestinian people. I think that is incredibly important to say and get across. Because for all Hamas's protestation that they are the representative of the Palestinian people, that they are fighting for Palestinian liberation, they have done everything in ruling Gaza to not further that topic of Palestinian liberation. And indeed, this very attack which they carried out will not lead ultimately to Palestinian liberation. Ultimately, what it will lead to is the betterment of Hamas, because at the end of the day, all Hamas cares about is Hamas. That is why it is so easy to go out and condemn Hamas and say those attacks they carried out were absolutely horrific. We condemn them for carrying out those attacks, and that this terrorism that they have committed in the name of Palestinian liberation will not lead to that outcome. Instead, it only continues the cycle of violence that continues to this day. And that is what they have done. And I said in my last video about this, Hamas and a right-wing, the current far-right Israeli government is currently two of the biggest spoilers for a potential peace in the Middle East in this conflict. It is the easiest thing in the world to condemn Hamas. They had an election back in, was it 2006, I think it was? Never had an election since. They've gone out of their way on purpose to suppress any challenge, any opposition that they might have. They are incredibly corrupt. Their police force, incredibly corrupt. And yet, there are people on the left who've been going around and saying, oh, being kidnapped by Hamas is completely based. No, 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 it is not. Hamas here has not furthered the cause for Palestinian liberation or, any sort of progress towards a lasting peace in the Middle East. It has done nothing. And yet Jeremy Corbyn comes out and says, oh, I'm against the killing of civilians. And then the reporter asks him, will you condemn Hamas? He will not. And that shows his incapability of condemning an organization that does not care about the people of Palestine. It's as simple as that. Jeremy Corbyn has showed again why the left, or at least a lot of people on the left, I would say, are really bad when it comes to foreign policy. Really bad. I'm so glad, to be honest, he lost because, as I've said before, Ukraine, his stance on Ukraine is really bad. I would be calling him to be removed if he was leader of the Labour Party, even if he was Prime Minister. I don't care about how good his domestic policy would be. I would be saying, yeah, on foreign policy, he needs to be removed. Sorry. And let's not forget, him refusing to condemn organizations like that are part of the reason why a lot of people in the North and around the country went, we can't trust him to be our Prime Minister because we don't even know if he would protect the UK. And that's yet another reason why a fair few number of certainly people up north refuse to back Jeremy Corbyn. But, I want to say this. Being able to condemn Hamas is as easy as night and day. It is so easy. I've just done it. I've just laid out for you how it is so easy to do that. All you have to do is say, look, I believe in the cause of Palestinian liberation. I believe in their right to sort of self-determination. International law and the rule of international law is the best way to help them achieve that. The violence that has been committed by Hamas this past weekend is absolutely horrific. Hamas is not the Palestinian people. They do not represent the Palestinian people. As we've said, they held elections once, have not held elections again since then, and have suppressed any other targeted opposition in the Gaza Strip which might challenge them. So it is so easy to do, and yet once again, just as with Ukraine, we've seen a lot of people not really think about what they are supporting and ultimately at the end of the day what they are saying. And that's just the straight up truth on this. And Corbyn has been almost the exemplary archetypical leftist who has been against the war in Ukraine, against Ukraine defending themselves, saying that they should, surrender or, quote, give peace a chance, without them saying, well, how do you do that? And once again, we've seen this in Palestine. Guess what? They have given peace a chance. They're called the Oslo Accords. So I would ask all those people, you have the peace agreement, you have that in way. How then do you make sure that both sides of this conflict go and follow those peace accords? Because at the moment, all you guys are like, well, okay, we just need to give peace a chance. We just need to have a ceasefire. And then somehow, magic. It's not that easy. Not that easy. But, foreign policy is hard. Foreign policy is incredibly hard. I'm not an expert. I will be first thing to say that I'm not an expert, but I do a lot of reading when it comes to foreign policy. I follow a lot of different people online, on Twitter. I read a lot of blogs about foreign policy because it's something that interests me. But by no way am I an expert, especially when it comes to the Palestinian conflict. It is incredibly complex, incredibly nuanced, and there are, entire videos on YouTube dedicated, full lectures on this. So, if you are really interested in that, then go and educate yourself. But I tell you now, in all honesty and sincerity, it is so easy to condemn Hamas. So easy. And yet, Jeremy Corbyn, for whatever reason, can't seem to do that. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.